Hi, my name is Natalie Pidi Rosales, and I'm currently a student taking the AICE Media Studies course. In this video, I'll be addressing the question, how did you integrate technology, software, hardware, and online in this project? So, throughout the production of my my thriller opener, technology played an important role in every stage of the process, including the filming process, the editing process, the planning process, and documenting the entire project. My group and I integrated a combination of hardware, software, and online technologies in order to successfully produce our final media product. So, to begin with, during the filming stage, we originally used an iPhone 13 to record our first version of the opener. So, because smartphones are often used in modern media production, since they're accessible and since they allow creators to quickly capture footage, it was more efficient for us and we wouldn't have gotten overwhelmed with the confusing professional equipment. However, after reviewing our first attempt, we noticed several technical issues. The footage appeared shaky because we were filming handheld, and the lighting was not strong enough to create that suspenseful atmosphere that we wanted in our film opener. So, because of these limitations, we later switched to using professional equipment from Beacon TV. So, we were able to borrow a professional camera, a tripod, and lighting equipment, which significantly improved the quality of our footage. For instance, in the opening vanity mirror scene, there are two characters sitting in front of the mirror while getting ready. The professional camera and lighting helped make this image clearer and more cinematic. Additionally, the mirror lights, the vanity lights, created a dramatic lighting effect, which helped establish the mysterious tone of the scene. The tripod also stabilized the camera, and this helped make the shot look even smoother and more professional compared to when we were just using the original handheld footage with the iPhone. According to the Attention Economy case study, modern audiences have short attention spans, meaning that media creators must capture attention quickly through strong visuals and engaging content. So, by using this higher quality equipment and the ability to have controlled lighting in scenes like the vanity shot, we were able to create a more visually appealing opener that would keep the audience interested from the beginning of our film. In addition to the hardware technologies, we also integrated online platforms throughout the project. So, one of our most important online tools that we used was Blogger, and Blogger basically acted as our digital journal for this whole filming process. So, on Blogger, I was able to document every single step of the project, including our research, our planning, our pitch presentations, our storyboard, our scripts, reflections, our filming processes, editing, and so much more. Having the ability to use Blogger helped me organize my ideas and track the development of my film opener. For example, when we planned our shots in advance to a storyboard, we were able to visualize scenes like the hallway walking shot where the character and our protagonist is walking down a dimly lit hallway. So, having the opportunity to plan shots like these beforehand helped us a lot to think about how the camera angle and lighting would contribute to the suspenseful atmosphere that we were trying to create for the viewers. Another major technology that we used was our editing software, which is CapCut. We used this during the post-production stage, and we, even though all of us in my group, we all have little to none experience with filming and using professional equipment. We do, however, have a little bit of experience of using CapCut, so we spent time watching some online tutorials just in case, learning how to navigate the editing tools, just to have and to be assured that we know exactly how to use and take full advantage of CapCut. Since we all have a little bit of experience using CapCut, the main person, however, that knew a little bit more than us was one of my other group members, Deshante, and she was the one that was mainly editing the film opener for us. This is not to say that we left the whole editing process and editing job to her. We actually gave constructive criticism and we gave feedback as a group to make sure our film came together. So during this editing process, it did involve several steps. So first, as a group, we reviewed all the footage and we selected the best clips to include in the opener. Then we trimmed and we arranged the clips in order to create the rough cut of the sequence. And then after that, we adjusted the transitions so that each scene flowed smoothly from one shot to the next, and so that there was no issue when it came to cutting. According to the camera angles and shot types case study, different camera angles can influence how audiences interpret what they're watching. So during the editing process, I evaluated the shots that we used to make sure that they created the suspense that we wanted for the audience. For instance, the over-the-shoulder shot allowed the audience to focus on the character's expressions, specifically when she is breathing heavily and the fact that she received the anonymous message from the phone, which helps build curiosity and tension. Another example is when Natalie, our protagonist, is in the hallway and she's walking. There is very limited lighting, and the camera framing creates uncertainty about what happened next. As you can see, Natalie is walking very slowly, and she is looking around to kind of give the feeling that she's scared. This again helps create and build suspense, which is one of the key conventions that we look for when creating our film opener, which is a thriller genre. Sound design was also another important part of editing our film opener. In CapCut, we had to make sure that the volume levels of the clips were balanced enough so that the dialogue could be heard quickly. Originally, we weren't really focused on the sound design, but eventually, when we first rewatched the first editing trial, we realized how important it was and how important it is to have balanced volumes so that everything can be heard clearly. We also adjusted the background music and the sound effects to make certain moments feel more intense. According to the McCombs and Shaw's agenda setting theory, media producers can influence what audiences focus on by emphasizing these certain elements. So during the editing process, we use sound and pacing to guide the viewer's attention to more of the important moments. Examples like this include when the protagonist, Natalie, checks her phone, or when the scene transitions specifically to the darker hallway environment. And finally, with CapCut, we were able to add the opening credits. So when we were designing the credits, we at first didn't really know what we were doing because we wanted it to give a nice professional film feeling, but we realized that even with the tutorials, it was pretty hard. And most of the features in CapCut are in which we have to pay for subscription. So we ended up just making sure that the font style and the size placement matched the mystery and thriller genre of our film opener. So regardless of the limited font style and size, we were still able, the credits were still timed carefully and placed carefully so that they would not distract from the action that is happening on screen. Overall, this project involved a lot of integration with several types of technology. We used hardware technologies such as an iPhone 13 and the professional Beacon TV camera equipment, such as the camera itself, the tripod, the lights, and the microphone to film our scenes. We used software technology such as CapCut to edit, filter, and assemble the footage. And finally, we used online technologies such as Blogger and YouTube online tutorials to document our work and learn new skills throughout the production process. At first, before starting this project, I didn't realize how much technology and effort really goes into creating a short film opener. I thought that 2 minutes creating a film opener wasn't really going to take that much time, and it's just filming something for 2 minutes. However, through this thorough and thoughtful experience, I have been able to develop and gain new skills in filming, editing, and media production. I was able to kind of enter another world of media and have an open mind and realize how tedious the process is to make sure that the correct message is sent through or is received by the viewer through Mrs. Scene, through every single detail in the film. So, all in all, I'm very proud of the final products that my group and I created, and being able to integrate these technologies really allowed us to turn our initial and original idea into a completed thriller film opener. Originally, our idea was a romance and it had nothing to do with thriller, but through constructive criticism and through many trials and errors, the process really gave me a deeper understanding of how real media productions are created. And yeah, thank you so much.